Welcome back everyone. Let us work a bit more on our ToDo application, continuing to apply the functional programming style of writing code. So let us do a quick survey of what we've got so far. I'm sort of going for these smaller functions and I'm trying to get their syntax to be consistent using these arrow functions, which is not necessarily a sign of functional programming, but you probably find them more among the functional programming languages and the people who follow that paradigm of writing code. And so we've got a few things here that still need to be perhaps updated. Let's take a look at these, see what's in them. Oh, we got a loop. Okay, we can clean up this loop. We got another loop here. We can clean up this loop. Maybe a start here. So we've got a bunch of to-dos. We're iterating over them. That's a pattern we've seen a bunch of times. And so what we want to do is to go and update the completed status of a to-do. And if you recall from the previous video, I explained to you how we may want to make our app state immutable or use immutable data structures in it. So that's what we did when, for example, we created a to-do. So we are overwriting the entire array of to-dos when we add one to it rather than pushing in there. And that function is here. It probably makes more sense if we just pass the to-dos to it as well, so that you don't get like two functions at the same time modifying this. It becomes a pure function, so it only depends on its input. And yeah, and it doesn't modify the environment, it doesn't modify its input. It takes input, it solely depends on its input, and it modifies the output. Well, this is a bit of a violation of that, but we're gonna let that slide. So now it's more consistent with filter to-do as well. And let me just update this before I forget, so we're not going to get like our app crashing on us. Okay, so I want some patterns like this, but for updating the status of the completed status of the to-do. So let us get to work. We can say to-dos, and what we're doing, we're sort of, well, we're mapping, right? We're going to map. And when we map, we're going to get a to-do, and we're going to do one of these two things. We will either, we say, if we were to just return that to-do, it would be like a mapping that didn't change anything. But we can check this condition, right? We can check this condition. We can say, if this is the case, then go ahead and do something like this, right? So, well, also, by the way, when you just return that to-do, well, that's fine. But we can create we can say like get that object, that to-do, and then update the completed status to be whatever it was flipped. Okay, so we can simplify this. We can do something like this. We can say return. If this is the case, then return this thing. Otherwise, return the original note. This is a ternary operator, right? And we can even get rid of that return statement here as well. Okay, let me format this to clean it up a little. So we can actually grab this and put it in a function, kind of like the ones up in here. So maybe here we can say const toggle to do or something like that. So it takes the to-dos and a to-do ID, and it does this for us. Yeah, to-do ID. There we go. Let's format it. So now we can go down here and say you're going to be using the toggle to do, pass the to-dos, and let's just directly drop this here and get rid of this for loop. Okay, let's change this to the arrow function syntax. Let me take a look. We don't need this anymore. Alright, that looks good to me. Okay, this is reasonable. This already works fine. Well, we can clean it up a little. And can I make this shorter? Sure I can. Okay, well, how about this one? Here is a fun pattern, right? So that's the way the OR statement works. If this thing is falsy, it returns this one. Otherwise, it will return this thing. And that's exactly what we want. And in fact, I can just drop this here, right? So this kind of looks more like the other one. There we go. So about the same number of lines here. So these two are cleaned up now. Let's take a look at this one. Handle new ToDo key down. Anything we want to do here? Not really. It looks good. Let's just clean this. Making it use. Just so that it is consistent. Not that we have to do that. Alright, this is cleaned up now. Let's take a look at this. Can we clean this up? Sure we can. Sure we can. Well, two opportunities. I can get rid of the for loop first, or I can clean this up first. Let me clean this up. Let me show you another trick. Let's go and make maybe an array. Let's call it classes and drop all of these in there. Right. Okay. And now I can go and say you gonna add all of these classes and you're gonna remove the same classes. There we go. Now it's a little cleaner. I can turn this into like a for each loop. The only thing you got to be careful is that this element, even though it looks like as if this is an array, this isn't really an array. So if you like hover the mouse, it actually gives you the return type. It's a HTML collection. So it has a length and you can access it kind of like similar to an array. It's not really an array. So it doesn't have like the array functions built into it. So if you want to change this into an array operation, you got to do this. You can say array.from, and this can take a collection and turn it into an array. Then you can go and do a for each. And now we got ourselves this thing, right? It should be this and this. Okay. Clean up. There we go. You can clean this up too. Const. We can even like clean this part up, so make this nicer, more functional or something like that. Like make it a, let me see if I can just like pass one function to this. So what we can do is maybe we can say const, what should I call it? What is it we're doing? We are adding or removing class. Let's call it update class list. And let's see what is it that we do. We do this thing. So we need the element, right? We're not gonna need this. We're not gonna need, oops. Okay, so we need the element. We need this thing, and well, we need this thing. We're gonna need the href. Okay, that's fine. We can pass it up in here. Or make it a little fancy. Let's do this. Now it's active, and I'm gonna change this to is active, and then we can grab this and dump it in here. Say like element, pass the element, and pass that function, right? Because href is the same as an href value. There we go. Okay, all of these are cleaned up. Moment of truth. Let's go here. I can plan to buy milk. Yes, I can. I can say this is done. I can't say it's done. Let's see what's happening. Uncode reference I is not defined. Where is that? Toggle ToDo. What is an I in toggle ToDo? Oh, that is silly. You just need to take a look at ToDo, right? That's all you need. So buy milk. Yes. There we go. There we go. There we go. Everything seems to be working. All the active ones. Oh, invite assignment to update class list. What is this? Render ToDo navbar. Let's take a look at it. Render ToDo. Let's see here. Oh, goodness me. There we go. So take this out. Now it works. We got the filters working. We got the UI updating. We can still add task. Beautiful. Okay, so we did a lot of refactoring, and this is getting more and more closer to a functional style of programming. I'm going to do a bit more work on this. Again, not that it's really needed, but just so as an opportunity to explore other kind of things that one might see in a code that is written in the style of functional programming. So we'll take this on again in the next video.